Good afternoon, and welcome to an event that you have all been highly anticipating, your graduation from the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. I'm Dr. Joanne Wilson, the Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and on behalf of everyone here, welcome to today's ceremony. Would you please stand, remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem, which is led today by John Dora.
Bright stars through the perilous fight.
may be seated. Please be seated. Graduates, today you become part of another special family, that being the UW-Platteville alumni. This is the 201st Commencement Ceremony at UW-Platteville, where more than 57,000 graduates have earned their diplomas. Congratulations to all of our candidates here today. This afternoon, we will salute graduates of the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science. Earlier today, we granted degrees to graduates of the College of Liberal Arts and Education, the College of Business, Industry, Life Science, and Agriculture, and the College of Graduate Studies. In all, we will honor 543 undergraduates today and 127 graduate candidates in the 3 ceremonies. As for today's ceremony, we will hear words of encouragement and congratulations from our student speaker, our principal speaker, and our chancellor. We will then recognize some special people in the audience, and then we will finally present the candidates for graduation. Each commencement, a student speaker is chosen to represent the graduating seniors. This year's speaker is Sarah Cassesi. Sarah has successfully completed her collegiate journey at the UW-Platteville with a major in mechanical engineering and a minor in Spanish. The Pewaukee, Wisconsin native earned her spot on the dean's list with a 3.82 grade point average and also made the chancellor's list for having a perfect 4.0 in a semester. She's pursued her academic efforts not only at UW-Platteville, but also a semester abroad at Jönköping University in Jönköping, Sweden. Besides excelling in her academics, Sarah interned at D&H Industries and Rockwell Automation. In addition, she was an active member of Swing Dance Club, Ballroom Dance Club, and InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. She has also served as an international student ambassador, helping international students adjust to their new life at UW-Platteville, as well as serving as a volunteer for Welcome Crew and a student support services tutor. This is the 3rd student speaker that I've introduced today, and I'm not really sure when any of them slept during the last 4 or 5 years. It's amazing what our students accomplish. So congratulations, and please welcome Sarah Cassesi.
I bet you're all wondering what that was about. It's my goal that by the end of this speech, these actions will not only make sense to you, but will also remind you of the problem in performing them alone. Now, I would like to ask for your help. We are going to make the best rainstorm in the history of UW-Platteville's commencement ceremonies. What we are going to do is divide into 3 sections. Section 1 is to my left. Section 1, please raise your hand. Thank you, you can put it down. Section 2 are the graduates in front of me. Section 2, please raise your hand. And the professors. Thank you. Now section 3 is to my right. Section 3, please raise your hand. Excellent. Now that we have defined the sections, I'm going to outline the activity. I will start by presenting an action to Section 1. When the action is presented, Section 1, please copy it. For example, if I point to Section 1 and rub my hands together, please rub your hands together. Thank you. While Section 1 is performing the action, I'm going to move to Section 2. I'll present the action, and Section 2 will also copy. Let's give it a try. Thank you. This will repeat for Section 1 to Section 2 to Section 3, and for 4 actions. the actions will be rubbing your hands, snapping your fingers, patting your thighs, and finally stomping your feet. Let's give it a try. Wow. Great timing, guys. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. I'd say that we successfully made a rainstorm. Now, you might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with graduation? Well, it's simple. Teamwork. Moments ago, when I stood up here all alone, I snapped my fingers, I stomped my feet, and I looked and felt crazy. You should have seen your faces. Alone, doing these actions is pointless, but together, we made something beautiful. Many of you will leave campus next week and head off to work 40+ hours behind a computer designing one small, minute detail of one product. Others might find themselves in a lab analyzing one single protein. And then there will be those that do nothing at all related to engineering. The question will be, does it even matter? The truth is, the STEM field is complex, composed of a compilation of bits and pieces of work from multiple people on multiple cross-functional teams. Teamwork is key, and each contribution is vital to the bigger picture. Did you know that NASA estimates it took over 400,000 people to send one man to the moon? I would argue it took a nation. Even though a few people took the glory, there were many whose work went unrecognized to the general public. But that doesn't depreciate the fact that each and every hand calculation, every hand drawing by eager engineers, physicists, and scientists like you and I were what made the mission to the moon possible. Whether you're earning a degree in one of the most rapidly growing fields, creating a rainstorm with the graduating class of December from the College of EMS, or doing the hand calculation of the energy required by the jet engine cycle to send a rocket into space, teamwork is the motor that drives success. Dysfunctional teams can make the simplest problem impossible. Successful teams are what make the impossible possible. So today, class of 2018, I need your help. I need you guys to look to the right and look to the left. Now look to these couple rows right up in front of you. And finally, take a look into the bleachers and find your family. Thank these people, because these are the teammates and the coaches that made this mission possible.
Thank you, Sarah. Today's principal speaker is Joyce Miller. Joyce is an '85 BSME graduate of UW-Platteville, and she went on to earn an MBA from UW-Milwaukee. She is employed as a senior staff technical product manager at GE Healthcare, where she is implementing the Internet of Things applications to acquire and analyze shop floor data to enhance productivity and quality. During her 20 years at GE Healthcare, she has worked in a wide variety of areas, including facilities engineering, IT product and project management, process design, and system validation for GE's global IT business applications. Prior to recently returning to school at UW-Milwaukee to pursue a second MS in IT management, Joyce served as a first robotics mentor for 7 years in inner city Milwaukee, where she led her high school students to win a district championship, after which they advanced on to a world championship competition. Please welcome a strong supporter of engineering education in Wisconsin, Joyce Miller.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Good afternoon, December class of 2018 graduates, faculty, administrators, family, and friends. I'm so very honored to be with you here today. As Dr. Wilson mentioned, it was December 14th, 33 years ago, that I sat where you're now sitting. The time has truly flown by. Being here with you today prompts me to reflect back on just how I felt when I was leaving UW-P for the next chapter of my life. UW-Platteville has always been very special to me. It's here that I met my husband. It's here that I made lifelong friends. And of course, it's here that I received the engineering degree that has opened so many doors for me over the years. In many ways, the time felt very much like today. We could feel we were on the brink of rapid technological change. We had gone from running Fortran programs on punch cards in the basement of Gardner Hall to running finite element analysis on ANSYS. The Macintosh computer had just been introduced, and computing was on its way to being the province of the many instead of the dominion of the few. And we had broken the record for the number of women graduating in mechanical engineering. Out of 40 graduates, there were 4 of us. No one could imagine what the world would look like now, 33 years later. That we'd carry in our pockets more computing power than it had taken to put Apollo on the moon. That cars would start to drive themselves. That machines could learn and could recognize us. That we'd be connected to everyone, everywhere, nearly all the time. That we'd still have a diversity gap in STEM, but UW-P would be working aggressively to close that gap through community outreach and student success programs that have been recognized as exemplary by ABET. We can't fully imagine what the world will look like 33 years from now. There are some tough challenges that lie ahead, but with them will also come great opportunities. With an education in engineering, math, and science, you are positioned to be on the front lines of that problem solving, the discoveries, and the innovation that will form that future. And I hope you all find that as incredibly exciting as I do. But graduates, my greatest hope for you is on more of a personal level, that your career will be a source of personal fulfillment over the years to come. That's why today I'd like to share 3 things that made my professional life very fulfilling. And although you thought you were done, I will leave you with a last assignment. The mission, should you choose to accept it, consists of 3 challenges as you move into your professional life. These are 1, having a growth mindset, 2, always exploring possibilities, and 3, paying it forward. The first challenge, that of choosing a growth mindset, takes me back to my first real job with Delco Electronics, part of General Motors. The first challenge, that of choosing, the company was great, the pay was great, but the job as a quality control supervisor seemingly had nothing at all to do with engineering. Oh, there was a connection. After a year in supervision, learning about how the factory works, I'd move into a manufacturing engineering role. But in the meantime, here I was, working with people who did not share my background, did not share my fervor for the work, did not share my career aspirations, and most of all, did not particularly care about having a kid as their supervisor. This new job required people skills, and unfortunately mine were in very, very short supply. So I found myself facing a choice. Either I could hunker down and try to stay out of trouble with the union for the next year or so, or I could buckle down and I could learn how to work more effectively with these people. I remember saying to myself, if you think you're so smart, well, then you should be able to learn this too. So I opted for that second choice, to try to become a better people manager, and that's what made a huge difference in the rest of my career. Fortunately, I had a boss and a coworker in my corner to coach me through some pretty rough spots, and I was able to make a lot of progress. Having great coaches was key. If you're struggling, look for someone with that skill set and ask them for a little help as a coach. Very often, people are very willing to help. By the end of the year, I gained enough confidence and competence to take on a role as a QA supervisor for second and third shift across the entire plant. And the skills I learned and the relationships that I built over those first 2 years proved to be foundational in becoming an effective manufacturing engineer for the following 9. In recent years, this approach has become known as employing a growth mindset. For example, instead of thinking, I'm not good at working with people, add one word, and that word is yet. I'm not good at working with people yet, and then get to work. The second challenge is to explore new possibilities. And this is really my favorite one. When I graduated, it was typical to be asked, what's your 3 and 5 and 10-year career plan? And quite honestly, I didn't have one. I didn't know what was out there. And so I'd make up something lame and I'd kind of move on. But what I found was that when you're not sure where you're headed, you may find places that no one else had thought to explore. Exploring is all about being open to new possibilities. And in a world that's rapidly changing, it's a great approach for staying relevant. So how do you explore? Well, you kind of keep your ear to the ground. You pay attention to what interests you. You pay attention to what excites you. You pay attention to what energizes you. And this will help you to identify your real true strengths. And once you understand your strengths, then go ahead and seize the opportunities to use those and to build upon them. Again, I go back to my first job out of school working in quality assurance. The day I graduated, like almost everyone in my class, I had an objective on my resume that read something like an entry-level position in mechanical design, because that's what I thought we were supposed to want to do. Little did I know that 6 months later, my first job would be in quality, and it would grow to become a lifelong passion. That I would find applied statistics to just be the greatest thing since sliced bread. That I would dive headfirst into learning about sampling plans and regression analysis and designed experiments. That years later, I'd become a Six Sigma black belt at GE. And as recently as a year ago, I'd be running machine learning algorithms for, for a data mining class in my current master's program. My exploration never ends, and yours is just beginning. Throughout my career, I've found new pursuits that started with a thought, now that looks interesting. And that acted as a springboard for exploration and learning, and often a new branch in my career that was just as fulfilling and rewarding as the one that had come before it. As the world continues to change and change very rapidly, and with so many opportunities in technology, I am more excited than ever. I will continue to explore, I will continue to learn, I will continue to leverage my strengths. And I challenge you all to do the same. The third challenge is to pay it forward, to share the passion that you have for math and science and engineering with the next generation through volunteering. My initial motivation for volunteering in urban Milwaukee public schools started with my own path into engineering. Having grown up on a family farm, I didn't know any engineers. I didn't know any business people. I only knew two things. I liked math and science, and I hated milking cows. And that's how I chose engineering. Perhaps the 33% of you who are first-generation college students like I was can relate. Like me all those years ago, a lot of kids, especially in urban and rural areas, don't have any idea what an engineer does. My goal was to help those kids to see the potential of a future in technology and to make a more informed choice than I was able to. I first volunteered for SAE's World in Motion. It's a box kit of tech projects that's used with elementary and middle school kids. That led to being on the Board of Engineers and Scientists of Milwaukee, which led to being a judge for the Future Cities competition. Then I learned about FIRST through Bring Your Sons and Daughters to Work Day, and when I saw that robot, I thought, that's basic industrial automation. I can do that too. But my son was young, and I didn't have time at that time, but it set a spark in the back of my mind. And a few years later, when the time was right, something would reignite it, and I would become a mentor for the next 7 years and lead that and be the lead mentor for the following 5. The challenge was steep. To help high school students strategize to play a game that's new each year, then build and design a functioning 100-plus pound robot, all within 6 weeks. If your school had a team, or if you worked with Platteville's Team 171, the cheese curd herd, you'll know what I mean. I was a rookie mentor on a rookie team. We had no shop, and we're building the robot with hand tools out of a math teacher's classroom. We entered our first competition with a robot that barely ran, and when it did, the wheels were likely to fall off, quite literally. We made some progress, and then at the end of our 3rd year, there was a big flood in Milwaukee. And when I saw someone standing on TV, standing in front of the high school with water up to their chest, I knew that we had lost everything. We had lost our shop and our tools and our robots, even the one that had been signed by Dean Kamen. But we rebuilt and we improved year over year. And by our 5th year, we won our first sectional competition that took us to the world competition in St. Louis. And through all of this, we grew as a team, we changed kids' lives, and we changed our own. FIRST is a microcosm of the real world, where there's never enough time, never enough money, rarely the right skill set, but somehow you still have to get the job done. In my day job, my first experience served as a sounding board of how to get things done more quickly, more simply, more efficiently when all the red tape is stripped away. I often like to say that the best way to think out of the box is to go stand in another box. And volunteering allows you to do that. You'll also find it's a great growth opportunity because when you're willing to work for free, there's not much that people won't let you do. Whether it's 1 hour of code, 1 day judging a STEM-related competition, or 1 season of mentoring first, I challenge you to volunteer in a STEM area at least once in the next year. Get those kids, boys and girls, fired up about STEM. Graduates, the mission I leave you with today holds these 3 challenges. 1, approach life with a growth mindset. 2, explore new possibilities. And 3, spark an interest in STEM in the next generation while fostering your own growth by volunteering. In closing, I'd like to extend my congratulations to the class of 2018. You've done it. May this commencement be the first day of many years of a rewarding and fulfilling career that all started here in UW-Platteville. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. I now ask that Dan Smith, President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, come forward to present the alumni lifetime memberships.
Thank you, Provost Wilson. By your graduation here today, you are now part of a special group, UW-Platteville alumni. And you are not alone. I now ask that all of our alumni here today proudly stand if you're able or wave your hand if unable to be recognized. Don't be shy. I, along with the alumni here today, would officially like to welcome you, the class of 2018, as UW-Platteville alumni. Thank you. The UW-Platteville Alumni Association annually recognizes outstanding graduates with Honorary Lifetime Pioneer Award by awarding them lifetime memberships into the Alumni Association. The award is based on a variety of criteria, including campus activities and leadership, community involvement, professional development and employment, academic excellence, and probability of future involvement in the Alumni Association. I would ask the following graduate to stand and be recognized as the College of EMS Alumni Association Lifetime Membership recipient, Bridget White. Congratulations to Bridget.
Chancellor Dennis J. Shields is in his 9th year at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. During that time, he has guided the campus through tremendous growth in programs, resources, and facilities. Most recently, he piloted an impressive effort to gain legislative and gubernatorial approval to build a new $55 million state-of-the-art engineering facility on campus, as well as remodel our Babel Hall for $23.7 million. And that renovation project will start in June, and Sesquicentennial Hall will be in a few years. We are also going to be opening a new addition to this building, the Williams Fieldhouse, next month, and we are anticipating that opening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chancellor Dennis J. Shields.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Good afternoon. It always takes twice. Good afternoon. There you go. Got to make sure you're out there. It is indeed a great day to be a pioneer. And it is a privilege for me to be here to honor the University of Wisconsin-Platteville graduating class of 2018. Congratulations. Thank you to the faculty and staff, and the faculty represented here on the front row. You should be proud of yourselves. You're the largest contingent of all three colleges today. But these faculty and staff have been the ones that have been the day laborers, so to speak. They're the ones that have taught you day in and day out, and advised you and supported you and counseled you. And from my heart, I thank each and every one of you for the effort you put into making this day possible for the students. There are also family and friends that are here. And thank you for the work you have done with and for these students and the support and encouragement you provided them throughout their time here. Your efforts and your belief in their future was critical to the success of these graduates today. Graduates, you have now completed your undergraduate training, save for some finals next week. And I'm proud of you for working hard, being disciplined, for maintaining the vision of your goals. Well done. I expect and hope that each of you have a desire to go out into the world and make a positive difference in your life, in the lives of others, and in the world. And I know that you can make a positive difference if you apply the same kind of consistent daily effort that you demonstrated as a student at this university. While you were a student on this campus, you worked hard and maintained core values that guided you through all of the challenges each of you faced during your journey to this point. While here, you overcame challenges. When you encountered tough hurdles, you did not give up. Rather, you persevered. You stayed focused and believed achieving your goal was important. Now, one of the difficulties of following the other speakers is many of the themes that they covered are similar to the ones that I want to cover. Now, you may think, then you should sit down and let's get this done so we can get to the celebration. But as chancellor, I got to have my say. Essentially, I'm going to advise you to do in life what you have practiced here at this university. And I suggest that you will be able to make a positive difference in the world if you are committed to being a lifelong learner and you dedicate yourself to your core values like civility, honesty, integrity, hard work, and empathy. Let me spend a little time explaining why I say this and what I mean. We are living in extraordinary times. Change is happening at an ever-quickening pace. And it also seems we live in an ever more polarized society. How will you cope with the pace of change? How can you reduce the polarization in our society and create positive collective solutions? The answer I submit to you is to commit to being a lifelong learner and be dedicated to your values. Let me start with some information I learned from an expert on workforce trends, a person named Heather E. McGowan. She puts it this way: the old model of work was in 3 life blocks. Get an education, use that education for 40 years, then retire. Later, the model became get an education, use it for 20 years, get retrained, use that for 20 more years, then retire. But McGowan explains that neither model works looking into the future. As the pace of change accelerates, she suggests we commit to lifelong learning. Why? Because the most successful companies and the most resilient workers are the ones who can adapt to change. They are the ones who will be successful and make a difference in the world. Today, it is also the case that we live in communities that are less and less homogeneous. By that I mean our neighbors and friends are likely to have lived their lives in a different environment and different context. New people have moved into our localities, and today many of our workplaces are global and don't just include folks from our local communities with whom we already agree. I think that if you're in the sciences and you're going out into the workforce today, this is absolutely true. I have not visited a company, whether it's 20 miles from here or 1,000 miles from here, that doesn't have a global reach, either in the supplies that they attract or the workforce that they're using to produce their products. Because there's now a broader diversity of life experiences in our communities, it means the opinions represented in our communities will be more diverse. We need to be prepared to listen to varied viewpoints, take them into consideration, and integrate them into the collective solutions we create for our communities and in response to the changing technology in the workforce. I recently read person Valerie Strauss in the Washington Post, who asked several notable people what was important for college students to know or learn during these extraordinary times. In response to Strauss's inquiry, filmmaker Ken Burns responded, "Some thoughts for students who are confronted with a difficult but hugely exciting time to help educate them. Respect people with different opinions, read everything you can find, follow your passion, and listen even when you disagree. A willingness to learn new things will strengthen your understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of your views in the eyes of others, and with a deeper understanding and new evidence, allow you to adapt and change in positive ways. Learning new things will prepare you to tackle new challenges in the workplace and to find out what you have in common with newcomers to your communities and to communicate effectively with them." Another person who responded to the Washington Post inquiry was historian Alex Kershaw. And he said, as a British immigrant to the United States, I would suggest that the most important lesson to teach from American history today is that diversity has always been this country's strength. It is a nation of immigrants of all faiths drawn from around the globe. It is a nation based on the most noble of ideals. Now, too often today, we are so certain of our own views and interests that it becomes difficult to respond to the concerns and perspectives of others. We are so focused on achieving our personal goals that we justify using whatever means it takes to get our way. Winning, it seems, has become our definition of success. The winner-takes-all method is not sustainable. We would do well to leverage what Kershaw cites as our greatest strength, diversity of opinion, especially today. To create thriving communities in this changing environment where opinions are diverse, but our goals and needs are the same, you will do well to be willing to engage diverse opinions. Now, being dedicated to our values will allow you to do this. If we respect others and exercise compassion, civility, honesty, and empathy, we will be willing and able to hear diverse opinions, to integrate them with your own ideas, and to create industry and community solutions that work for everyone. In short, being a lifelong learner and someone dedicated to values will give you the ability to make the positive differences in the world that you aspire to. Let me share a couple of real-world examples of what I'm talking about. The first example I'll share is about a graduate of this institution from a few years ago, someone like you, who recently emailed me. The email was driven by an experience this person had had as a student here. He had served as a writer and editor of The Exponent, the student newspaper. And each year, The Exponent has a couple of different issues that are satirical. And in one of the satirical issues he contributed to, he satirized me. Now, they pay me as chancellor to be satirized and to be criticized. So at some level, it wasn't all that disturbing to me. But he explained in the email that he realized in hindsight What he wrote was not satirical nor funny, and instead it was, in his words, disrespectful and intolerant. He also recalled that a classmate had confronted him about his commentary at the time, but that he had dismissed her criticism because he thought she just couldn't take a joke. He reported that since graduation, he had thought about his assumptions and learned that some of them were not true. He'd engaged in some self-reflection, and he changed his mind about what he wrote in the exponent. He realized that the article he wrote didn't promote unity on this campus, something he values, and that in fact his article did the opposite. He regretted it and decided that he needed to apologize to the campus and to me, and so he did. In his email, he went on to explain that he was having success in making a positive difference in his community by engaging, listening to, and valuing everyone who wanted to have input. He seemed confident that he and his community were better for it. So let me give you another example, a little more national in scope. Dan Crenshaw. Dan Crenshaw is a former Navy SEAL who was recently satirized on Saturday Night Live. Comedian Pete Davidson joked about Crenshaw's military service and made fun of his eye patch, which covers an injury he suffered while serving in Afghanistan 6 years ago. Now, not surprisingly, this upset people, and they wanted Crenshaw to be upset, to complain loudly, to demand Davidson's firing or resignation. But Mr. Crenshaw thought about things differently. He understood that he had a choice. He could respond with offense and fuels what he calls outrage culture and increase the amount of already existing polarization and misunderstanding that exists today. Or he could choose to take a more constructive approach. Crenshaw decided that a negative response did not align with his values, which prized integrity and civil discourse. So instead, he accepted an opportunity to appear on Saturday Night Live during the Veterans Day celebration. He accepted the show's apology and was able to use the platform to convey a national message of forgiveness and unity. I share these examples because they provide real-world evidence of the advice I'm trying to convey. A University of Wisconsin-Platteville graduate who was able to change his mind, adapt a new paradigm, and make a positive difference because he understands the importance of lifelong learning, and an example from a citizen, Dan Crenshaw, who didn't succumb to peer pressure because it was easier, but instead fostered an environment that facilitated communication and discussion instead of exacerbating the problems that result from polarization and intolerance. So today, I'm asking you to do the same. Commit to lifelong learning and to be dedicated to your values, such as civility, honesty, integrity, hard work, and empathy. I'm asking that you be like your fellow graduate and be willing to keep learning and to change your mind when your values tell you that this is what you should do. And I'm suggesting you might foster communication when you have the chance, even when it is difficult, so that you can help to create solutions that take all members into consideration and have a positive impact on your communities. Now, I know if you take my advice today, it will probably not make your life easier. In fact, it may complicate your life at times. You will have to keep learning, reading, and watching new materials, investigating new ideas. You will have to engage with people who you might not be inclined to engage with, and you will have to adopt opinions that some of your closest friends and colleagues will disagree with. I offer that, like the challenges you encountered as you work towards graduation, that these life challenges will be worth it because they will allow you to achieve your goal to make a positive impact on the world. And finally, echoing what you heard earlier, I recommend to every graduating class Engage your communities. Serve on the school board or the city council. Volunteer at your church. Coach a youth sports program. Become a mentor. Do practical things to make life better for those around you. And while you are doing this, commit to lifelong learning, to being values-driven, and to promoting understanding. You do indeed have great opportunities ahead of you. We're proud and pleased for you. You are part of why every day, every week, and every year is a great day to be a pioneer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. The third time was just as good as the first. He asked me if I was ready to listen for a third time, so. All right, to move on. You may wonder what the different colored stoles and cords are around the necks of many of our graduates. Our international students wear white flag stoles featuring the United States flag and the flags of their home countries. Platteville students who have studied abroad wear stoles featuring the flags of the countries where they studied. Clubs, organizations, and honor societies have also bestowed different colored stoles and pins on their graduates representing additional extracurricular and high-impact practice learning. I would like to call special attention to those wearing gold honor cords. These gold cords are worn by students who have received academic honors. Students with honors are also designated in your program with asterisks. We are going to recognize our honors students now. Each year, the colleges are invited to recognize their valedictorians, students with a high grade point average as well as outstanding accomplishments. The College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science chose 2 valedictorians for 2018. Amelia Delwich and Thomas Sable. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Students who have between a 3.75 and a 4.0 earn summa cum laude honors. Would those students please stand? And the students who have earned a 3.5 to a 3.74 grade point average earn magna cum laude honors. Would all of those who fall within that range please rise and be recognized? Be seated. Congratulations again to all of our honor students. In addition, our faculty who, yes, fill 3 rows. We didn't have that many the first two ceremonies, so congratulations. You win. If there's a prize, you'd win it. They have, as you can see, very colorful gowns. There's specks of orange for engineering and lots of other colors that represent different degrees. Each of them has a different style of gown or accessory, depending on his or her field and level of education. For a PhD, the hood is large, colorful, and has a silk patch and a velvet patch. And the silk patch is the colors of the institution that gave the degree, and the velvet tells you what kind of degree that is. The doctoral gown has a black velvet strip that extends down the front, although I've been noticing lately there's lots of blue ones, and as well 3 black velvet stripes across the sleeves. For the master's degree, the hood is the same length as the doctor's hood but doesn't fully expose the lining, and the master's degree also has very interesting sleeves. Faculty and staff wear the color of the institution that granted the highest degree that they've been awarded. So that's your 5-minute or 2-minute explanation of all of these colorful gowns that people are wearing. Okay. So now, all of the individuals who are candidates for bachelor's degrees, please stand. This is your moment. They might win for the most exuberant set of families. Chancellor Shields, as provost and as directed by the university faculty, I certify that the individuals standing before you are candidates for the Bachelor of Arts or the Bachelor of Science. And upon completion of the prescribed curricula and all of your finals next week, you are entitled to receive your degrees from the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. I therefore recommend that these candidates be granted the appropriate diplomas for the curricula completed.
Upon this certification by the Provost and Vice Chancellor, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University of Wisconsin System, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree that you have earned, together with all the rights and privileges attending thereto.
And now, undergraduates, please take your tassel and move it from the right to the left on your mortarboard, as you are now a UW-Platteville graduate. Congratulations. Please be seated for a moment. As we begin the awarding of individual degrees, we know that this is an exciting time and we all want to hear our own graduates' names. So please be respectful of those around you. If you could not do those annoying horns and blow people's ears out, that would be fabulous. And we are excited to have all of our students come forward, and each student's name will be in fact read. Registered David Kiekefer will read the names of the candidates, and I now ask Dr. Molly Gribb, Dean of the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science, to come forward.
Chancellor Shields and Provost Wilson, as Dean of the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science, I present to you candidates for the degrees of Bachelors of Arts or Bachelor of Science. Candidates, please begin coming forward.
Sarah E. Kasasi. Spencer Parks Adamson. Abdul Rahman Salman Al-Safar. Ayub Mahali Al-Harbi. Agab Mahali Arhabi. Kyle Edward Andre. Lucas A. Applin. Andrew Bauman. Kyle W. Berry. Ramsey M. Beckman. Nicholas James Bell. Joshua Stewart Berryman. Dexter F. Bland. Henry Paul Breaker. Colton A. Brickler. Jared E. Bruce. Bailey J. Brunner. Keegan P. Burr. Ahmed N. Bimafuth. Nicholas R. Calvache. Alexandra C. Carter. Chun Chun. Aaron Elwin Christensen. Nicholas R. Costello. Anthony J. Covey. Brandon Scott Krantz. Brandon H. Dane. Jack E. Davies. Eric J. DeCramer. Amalia Rose Delwich. Matthew S. Dilling. Brady A. Dow. Benjamin D. Drager. Jonah James Drake. Jacob L. Dalmas. Ian R. Ecclestone. Megan R. Ellsburn. Mitchell A. Ernst. Andrew L. Etheridge. Mark A. Fendry. Janelle F. Ferguson. Benjamin W. Fears. Joel J. Flaggy. Marcus M. Flaherty. Noah A. Fox. Damon Lee Gessler. Alex M. Giberson. Lucas N. Gonsalves. Marcus Ivan Gruel. Adrian D. Geither. Benjamin S. Hansen. Luke Thomas Hardinger. Clay N. Halverson. Taylor Joseph Hermas. Adam T. Hireman. Sarah A. Hochmuth. Mark William Halada. Danielle L. Hughes. Alexander David Hubricks. Jacob Ira. Alexander F. Jones. Dallas Morgan Jones. Aaron R. Jones Fiscator. Ross Michael Cott. Christopher Francis Clower. Carl Edward Keppel. Kyle Kruger. Maxwell Duran Cundy. Joshua Carey Kurth. Zachary J. Larson. Ethan James Leonards. Jenna Livesey. Kaylin Margaret Longaville. Nasser A. Bashrahil. Robert A. Moss. Alexander S. McCarr. Dylan T. Mankey. Adriana O.C. Martins. Nicholas A. Matter. Brian Leo Mendreski. Cody Allen Meyer. Macy L. Mislevicek. Matthew Eric Moore. Tanner J. Mortensen. Noah Thomas Moss.
Noah Moss! You're free, baby, you're free!
Austin S. Mullet. Donovan M. Miller. Michael P. Miller. Mitchell David Muffler. Jacob D. Myers. Rebecca J. Nicholson. Joseph T. Nielsen. Nicholas J. Nowak. Cameron L. Palmer. Jason T. Party. Jordan R. Parker. Ravi K. Patel. Cody A. Peck. Haley K. Peterson. Brian Anthony Peterson. Neil M. Peterson. Amanda M. Poppy. Holly Ann Regan. Benjamin John Rohde. Kara Lynn Rohde. Rachel Mary Romps. Thomas M. Sable. Nicholas J. Sass. Donald C. Scher. Benjamin W. Schnell. Tanner J. Schoonover. Logan D. Schmierbach. Trevor W. Schoenrock. Michael Marlowe Schubert. Isaac T. Schutz. John Ronnie Shue III. James M. Schultz. Luke J. Serkatich. Austin Philip Shoemaker. John Scholl Jr. Sid Shukla. Nicholas James Sisinski. Bradley Joseph Stram. Brady T. Strong. Sawyer T. Strong. Adam A. Sturgis. Michael C. Sullivan. Benjamin W. Sulzer. Derek D. Sundin. Karsten T. Tates. Maxwell Smith Tibbet. Giovanna A. Torres Rivera. Nathan David Weeda. Nakib Ula. Aaron L. Unish. Joshua T. Vanslow. Engels J. Vargas. Luke D. Verbruggen. Kevin Vergens. Colin A. Wani. Matthew D. Weimerskirch. Rebecca A. Welsh. Abigail L. Werner. Brandon Jacob Whipple. Bridget R. White. Benjamin Peter Wibicki. Tyler Lee Windaw. Sarah Ann Watashek. Keanu M. Wong. Tori Renee Wood. Christopher M. Yangioski. Mitchell J. Zangle. Matthew Cyrus Ziegler. Trent M. Zielsdorf. Madeline R. Zillis.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. Putting together this ceremony takes considerable work, much of it behind the scenes. I'd like to extend a thank you to all of the following people. The Commencement Committee, which was led by Ian Drager, Registrar David Kiekgafer, who read the names, the student ambassadors who served as our ushers today, the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, led by Professor Emeritus Dan Fairchild. Thank you for stepping in and helping us out, Dan. I appreciate it. And thank you to all the students in the Wind Ensemble. The Media Technology Services, the Division of University Relations, and Commencement Marshal, Emeritus Faculty, Dr. Jill Clough from the Department of Industrial Engineering. I hope that was a little bit of a surprise for you. I'm not going to say any more other than my friend and colleague is retiring after being in my space for 32 years, and I thank you for all of your support. Thank you. Would everybody that I just named please stand up and be recognized? Please. Musicians. Thank you. Sitting in front of the stage is a group that we've noticed a few times today. They have taught, advised, and so much more for all of the graduating class. Would the UW-Platteville faculty and staff stand and be honored today? None of this would have been possible without this last group, who have helped our graduates throughout their collegiate careers and indeed their entire lives. Would the families and friends of the December 2018 graduates please stand and be recognized? Now, if you would turn to page 40 of your commencement program for the alma mater, which will be led again by John Dora, and let's stand for our alma mater, please. The commencement ceremonies have been recorded and are available for on-demand viewing on the campus website. Please remain seated until the stage party and the faculty have left the gymnasium. Once the faculty has reached the lobby, the graduates will be dismissed and they may join their families and friends. The flags representing all of the countries from which our students hail are displayed out in the main lobby for pictures, and the college banner will move out there very quickly as well. This concludes our ceremony. Once again, congratulations to our graduates, the graduating class of December 2018. Please start the recessional. Graduates, you're now dismissed to find your family and your friends. Congratulations.
Hands over there, professor here, in section teaching music in the boxing. Thank you so much. Do well in finals, then space out for a while, okay? Have fun. I think you could be in an Army field band and do this 3 or 4 times a day. Are you?